All right, so first Texas Thursday of the year, 52 or 51 more to go. There are a couple of things I want to share with you. Two numbers, because we're just like, I don't know, like 7 days into the year. We haven't had a lot of data, but I do have 2 points of data for you. The first point of data that I have for you is what we have listed right now as a group. We have $34 million worth of real estate listed. That is super high. To give you an idea, last year, same time when we came into 2020, although that was a crazy year, not like 2021 is not that much better right now, it seems. But we came in with hey guys, mute yourself as you're coming in, or I'm gonna have to mute you. Let's see. You guys are awesome. Okay, perfect. Last year, coming into this year, we came in with 12 million pending, and now we have 34 million pending. The important thing that you guys want to know about this is we're growing, you're growing, your business is growing. So all the work that you did September, October, November, December, right? It's going to pay off, because when you walk in with $34 million worth of listings as a group, that creates momentum, and we need momentum to be able to just push through some of the yuckiness that happens outside of real estate, and then, our own mindset. And then pendings, guys, we have $54 million in pendings, $54 million in pendings. To give you contrast to that, last year when we started the year, we had 21 million pending as a group. So definitely you guys have worked hard, and it's showing, and that momentum is carrying forth. So we have January and February closings lined up, and it always feels better when you're making money, right? All right, so this morning, I'm going to spend probably the next, 20 minutes just discussing what our top agents are focusing on to give 2021 that turbo boost that we all want. Elizabeth, you're first. What are you focusing on this morning? Or this year, but you're going to tell us this morning.
Yeah, this year, my goal, 70% of my business in 2020 was sphere and agent referrals. Agent referrals is actually number one for me, with 13 total for the year. So definitely a huge part of my business. So I'm going to keep definitely doing that. I get those referrals by obviously giving back to Place, doing free trainings and that sort of stuff, and helping anyone out who needs it. But I'm also a big part of KWYP, the Young Professionals Network. If you're not in it and you're under 40, I cannot stress enough how much that group has changed my career. So definitely would recommend that. I closed 1.2 million in volume in 2020 just from that group. So continue to give back there. And then for my sphere and past clients, events is big for me, and not just the team events. I want to do an event every month I can invite someone to. Obviously with COVID, it's going to be different, right? So we're going to have to try and be a little bit more creative, but it's still important to me to at least have that touch, because I have a really hard time reaching out to my sphere when I don't have value behind it, of just hey, how's it going? I don't call my sphere. We don't call each other. I'm 34, almost 35. We text. So if I call, it's kind of weird. But if I call with hey, I'm just inviting you to something, that at least makes me feel better about picking up the phone. So having an event every month that I can invite people to is helpful. And then social media obviously is huge as well. I have put a big presence on my Instagram and personal Facebook page and stuff. I have an assistant, so thankfully she can help me with a lot of that stuff every week. We talk about what we're putting on there. Obviously, we put pendings and solds and all that, but I also like to focus on new construction. So I always spotlight new construction every week. If I do get an agent referral, I like to spotlight them for my, say thank you for the referral, but also have other people know that I know someone in another, that particular city. Just a lot of different little things like that. I'm also going to start a video series of just quick 1 to 2 minute videos explaining every little part of the process, which is going to be a long series, but I'm excited about that. I started doing it a little bit last year and I got a really good response. So now I have some scripts written and I just have to doll myself up and do it. Obviously lately I have not been getting dressed and doing my hair every day. So it's something I do have to plan for. And then the new thing for me is going to be farming. So I bought my house, I am in a condo and I bought it in September. And I'm already, my next door neighbor's house I'm listing, and it's actually closing in today at 3 p.m. So that because of the just listed and just solds from that one, I have a ton of Brivity marketer leads. I have to go door knock and like literally they're like right around here because it's my next door neighbor. So I need to start doing that. And I want to start doing open houses again. I don't really do a lot of them, but my rule for myself is only on my listings or in my zip code, because I need to get better at not going too far. I just need to, be more strategic. So that's why I'm going to start just making them go a little bit smaller. And then same thing with expires. I'm going to follow, Brandon's plan of just doing the ones, or at least like mainly doing the ones that are here in my area. I have myself set up on a drip and stuff for the MLS to get those. So I know I talked really fast, but like those are the three things that I'm mostly focusing on. It's a lot of stuff. But I'm excited about the plan. So
okay, I love a couple of things you said. You said your agent referrals are a result of you giving back, and every time I ask you to speak, like I barely even have to ask. Like you're probably like just reading my mind anyway, because you always say yes, which is by the way strategic, right? I know it is, right? Because 99% of us don't wake up in the morning and they're like, man, I can't wait to share, on Texas Power, because it takes a little bit of time because you have to like actually think about this, right? So thank you for doing that. And I can see why, like when you give back, like something comes back to you, the law of reciprocity. Can you give us an example of maybe what a sphere or past client touch is for January or February?
Yeah, so January is a little bit different because it's obviously we're starting a lot of stuff. So I didn't want to plan something huge, and I had a vacation in December. So I wanted to do something smaller for my more intimate sphere. So I'm a huge nerd and I love Hamilton, and it's Alexander Hamilton's birthday on the 11th, which is on Monday, I think. And so what I was going to do is just invite people to a virtual like Zoom watch and sing along to that. And it's like just my nerdy friends, right? It's not like necessarily open to everybody. If I know that one of my clients also might enjoy it, I'll say like, hey, I'm doing this thing. It's going to be silly. Let's do it. I was going to try to do it in person, but obviously nothing's getting better. Nothing's getting safer. So I'm just going to do it virtually, but at least it gives me like a text message like, hey, it's Hamilton's birthday. Let's go on Disney Plus and watch this. Or if you don't have Disney Plus, I'll stream it on Zoom for you. And so that's just a way for me to touch those people, right? And so like February, for example, I do this actually every year, is a Galentine's Day, which is a brunch for just my girlfriends. But I open it to everybody's and for everybody to invite someone. This year, I'm going to try to still do it. I'm not sure how. Normally I get like 12 to 15 people there. And there are certain people that go to that I don't see at all year long and message me, are you doing Valentine's Day again? Like they just don't have a lot of girlfriends, or maybe they don't go out as much. And like, this is like their one thing that they do. And I know for sure, like a couple of those people, they're like, hey, I'm getting married next year. When we're ready to buy a house, I'm going to give you a call, like that kind of stuff. But just again, the invite of putting it out there gives me a touch to like bring value, and also just touch base with a lot of girlfriends that I don't get to talk to a lot, especially if they have had kids and stuff like that and just aren't out and about as much, or like now, none of us are out and about, right? But
right. When it comes to your social media, Elizabeth, how many posts are you going for per week? Just to give us an idea.
3 a day, except for the weekends.
Okay.
That's my goal.
Got it. Okay. Awesome. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Perfect. What about, Judy, are you ready to share? What are you focusing on this year?
Oh, hey. Yeah, no, I'm good to share. So this year I definitely, more like intentional touches and like making sure that the contacts that I'm sending out, that I'm purposeful in it, and really trying to like get a schedule focused and set up with my lead gen. Jordan and I met yesterday just talking about how we were going to set up day to day what lead gen was going to look like. So one day, whether it was focusing on expired, FSBOs, past client touches, but just totally lost my train of thought. One thing that I did do as far as Monday went is I printed my whole log for everything that I closed in 2020. And I sent a text message to every single client, just making sure, as a simple, I mean, we do the mailers on the homestead, but I took the time to text message every single one of them. And it was just something simple like, hope 2021's off to a fantastic start. Don't forget, as the years rolling around, you need to go file the homestead. I actually put a link to where they were able to just print out the homestead application on the text. And then at the bottom of it, just put a little note. Let me shut this door, sorry. I'm at the school and the kids are getting out, so they're really loud. Okay. But, and then I, at the bottom, just put a little note. Now, as we roll into 2021, if you know anybody looking to buy, sell, and invest in real estate, please keep me in mind. Because I would also love to help any of your family and friends. And I got a lot of responses from people that were like, yeah, no, absolutely. We'll definitely send them your way. I actually had one of my clients reach out and they were like, hey, speaking of real estate, could we set up a call? I'm kind of interested in starting that journey. And so that was kind of a thing too. It's like, cool, can work on building my my profit share, because I mean, that was another one that they've got like a lot of connections. And so it was definitely, they just bought a lake house. They just bought their house here. And they're kind of like, you know, we want to, and it was like, hey, is your team hired? I mean, that was just a lot of the questions. And so just kind of answering those and helping them out on those. I did get a whole lot of phone calls asking, how do you fill out this homestead thing? But that was good. I mean, it was still them knowing that like I was there, I wasn't ditching them. But as far as other things we're focusing on is I am going to do, Jordan does a lot of my open houses, but I have told myself that if I'm in town and the kids don't have something, that I'm going to physically be at the open houses and be more present on those. So I've got my open houses for Saturday and Sunday sent in to do those, and just really try to work on, I mean, obviously I love listings, and I love doing that side, but really trying to not forget about my buyers, or not to like slack off on having those, because I do have Jordan who helps a whole lot on taking those buyers around. And so still focusing on my listings, obviously, because that's a big part of my business, but picking up my buyer side as well.
Got it. One question for you, because Judy, I know you work in a school. My question is, a lot of our agents have kids who also, you know, go to school. Like, what's your train of thought on being involved in the PTA as a realtor, supporting the teachers? Like, do you have any like insight at all? Like if you're a mom or a dad who has kids in school, is there anything that you would recommend that they do to kind of like embrace that community a little bit more?
Yeah. So I will say, like, my kids' school is very heavy on realtors. But I still, anytime I'm talking to some of them, and a lot of them know that I do work at the school, but I make sure that they know I'm in real estate too, and like try to help. But I get a lot of clients from teachers at the school, and some of them are parents at the school. And so I think just this last year, I've helped 2 of our teachers' parents that were retiring and moving to home sell their house. I have one of our younger teachers, I'm helping him find a home. We're supposed to get back on the hunt next month. He's finally got some stuff taken care of. But yeah, the biggest thing is just reach out, little just thank yous. I know if I ever bring like a teacher's gift, I'll usually like slip a card in it. You know, just little things like that. I'm not actually active in our PTA being at the school, but I do a lot of like the volunteering at the class parties and stuff like that. And I think all of our conference rooms have my magnetic business cards on the fridge. But just as far as the teachers go, especially in our secondary building, because that's where I'm at.
Got it. Perfect. I love that. Thank you so much for the text message.
I think almost more than the teaching side, where I really reach out is like my kids' activities they're in. Since I'm at the school and we are so heavy, I don't focus as much as that, because like, I mean, just our school in particular, I'm in secondary. We have an elementary teacher that's also an agent here in town. And then I can think off the top of my head of 6 parents that's kids are here that are realtors. And we're a small school. We're only 1,200 kids. So just the ones I know, we're talking, there's already 8 agents right there. But a big thing I do is I focus on anytime the kids have activities. Like, I don't really have a conversation, and my husband gets so aggravated with me, but I don't have a conversation with people without them knowing I'm in real estate. He's like, we really can talk to people and them not know you're a realtor. And I'm like, but I do much better in the face-to-face conversations with people and the building the relationships and the clientele base that way. So I do that. I mean, and it, like if the kids have games, in between games, we can be sitting at dinner and I may pull my laptop out. I mean, I usually really have work to do, but I may pull my laptop out and start amending or working on an amendment or a contract or something. And it's usually stuff I can do quick. Like I'm not rude about it, like, but stuff I can take care of really quick versus calling Jordan and being like, hey, will you log in and fix this one? But I mean, just yesterday I was sitting actually in class and I get a message from one of my daughter's teammates who her parents are going through a divorce. And I was like, oh, hey, by the way, I told my attorney that you're going to be my realtor to sell my house. So I'm just waiting for them to sign everything off and then I'll give you a call so we can get it listed. Great. Like I didn't even know, I knew she was getting divorced, but I didn't even know she was having to sell her house in the divorce. But it was just the fact that when they said sell the house and you need a realtor, for the fact that she knew that I was the one that came to mind. And so that's really where I focus more, like on being intentional on them knowing that I do it, is in those outside events, just because of how I do focus on the school, but just how heavy we are with realtors at the school. I focus there on it.
I love it. I love it. You stay super visible. Super visible. Okay, good for you. I love it. Thanks, Judy. Maria, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what are you focusing on this year? Like what's going to be like that turbocharge for you?
Yeah, so lately one of the biggest challenges is, of course, finding inventory. And so what I've kind of been focusing on now is, and plan to for the coming months and year, is a couple things. It's kind of twofold to focus on buyers and sellers. So first of all, bringing value to our current buyers and helping uncovering some off-market properties by looking at specific area expireds and withdrawns and even hold properties that, or even circle prospecting certain neighborhoods that they like. And of course, telling them about it, letting them know you're working to find them and uncover off-market properties for them specifically in areas that they like. And this helps, of course, with the current buyer pipeline, getting them closed, because multiple offers has been a really big challenge lately, more so than it has been even in the past few years. And basically finding them properties, it helps bring them value, of course. And also you can help by gain more buyers by advertising some of those off-market properties, or posting on your social media, hey, look who's looking for a leg up in this competitive market. Stuff like that to find more buyers while you're also bringing value to your current ones. And I say it's twofold because with the expired withdrawns, of course, not the hold properties, those I'm reaching out to the listing agent, but for the expired withdrawns, Ashley and I are finding some off-market ones, expired withdrawns that would work for our buyers. And if it doesn't work for them, it also builds credibility to that specific seller that you're doing a lot of work to prospect them and uncover buyers for them. So if it doesn't work for them, then you can keep in touch and nurture them as you would an expired listing to get an appointment or get that listing. And the other thing is reaching out to, kind of like Elizabeth said, reaching out to past clients in Sphere to, like we just did a bunch of pop buys last month and got a few referrals out of that actually, because it keeps you top of mind. Also, if anyone is thinking about like a move up purchase or taking advantage of their equity or just, moving in general, it keeps you top of mind and, allows you to keep in touch with those people. And what else? Mention their equity, see how things are going with them.
How would you mention that?
Just talk about how inventory is so low lately. Maybe like everyone is, of course, is on a market alert for homes in their property or in their neighborhood. Like every time I close someone, I'll just set them up pretty instantly, like maybe 6 months later, to keep an eye on what's selling in their neighborhood. Like I get people texting me and calling all the time and just saying, hey, I saw so-and-so sold down the street, or I saw this home come on the market. Do you know what it sold for? Like I had someone who bought a new build. They're like, hey, I heard homes are selling for X amount. Can you check on that? So it starts a conversation with them. And also if they are surprised by their equity. Maybe they're thinking about moving to that area that they've had their eye on for a while. So yeah, that's my main focus right now. Ashley and I were focusing on those off-market properties to help with both buyers and sellers.
Right on. Right on. And if you guys are, if you guys ever get like, what should I say to people, when I do, reach out, to past clients, because that can get like, I've heard, at least our Austin agents have said, I just don't know what to say, right? Like, because it feels like, inauthentic or whatever. What I used to do is I would just like look up the address, that they bought 123 Main Street, and find a property that just sold that was like exciting and sexy, or the price was great or something. And I would just be like, hey Maria, like I just saw like 123 down the street sold. Your neighborhood is really going up in price. I'm so excited you bought that house, right? And it wasn't even like geared towards anything, but it started the conversation, right? So just like the best script is an authentic script, right? Like just be you. Right on. Oh, hold on one second. Can you unmute?
Oops. And when you do find, like I found a couple hold properties that they were like, yeah, they would sell with the right offer. So of course, first you reach out to the buyer that you have in mind for it, but if it doesn't work, there's a few people in the database that I've reached out to see if it would work for them. And it helps with referrals too. Like if they know an agent's really working hard for them, they'll refer their friends and family. So it helps not only with your current buyers, but to start to uncover new buyers.
So your buyers are, by you doing so much legwork, their mindset is that you're just doing so much for them, and it builds your credibility to have them refer more clients.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
I like it. I'm down with that. Who do I have? Dana, are you on the call this morning?
I am.
All right, tell us what you're focusing on.
So I'm focusing on like Brivity leads and Brivity marketer leads. My business in the past has been very much a sphere-based business and past client referrals and that sort of thing. And that's kind of like on auto drive without me having to think about it. So in order to add to and that's kind of like capped out. So unless I like grow my sphere of close friends, which isn't a big interest to me, I needed to find another source. So for that's going to be Brivity leads, like the internet leads, and the Brivity marketer, which I already had success pretty quickly with Brivity marketer. Like I took a $500,000 listing with like my second postcard that went out. So that's kind of the gist of it. And I have not been the best lead generator. And so my goal is just to get into Brivity, very focused for 1 hour a day, and follow up on the old leads and to send out touches to others and that sort of thing. And so far this week, I've been in there for more than an hour. Once I sit down and get started, I look down, I'm like, oh crap, it's been 2 hours. I need to go do something else. And so just sitting down and actually doing it is my plan.
I heard two things you said. Number one, I'm really excited. A few people have already mentioned Brivity Marketer. Brivity Marketer is something new that Brivity has come out with, and we're really excited to start implementing this across our teams for just listed, just sold cards, and being able to do it at scale. So I'm really excited to hear that you guys are getting results with that. That's awesome. And the second thing I heard you say, Dana, is when we were talking and we're like, what are you focusing on? And you're like Brivity, and you're like, it's kind of lame, but Brivity, right? Like you built an entire business on like not even using a CRM. You did it all through Excel spreadsheets, basically, like a Google sheet. And like that, you hit a ceiling because there's only so much you can do before you actually have to like be a business person.
Yeah.
So like 1 hour a day, right? Is that the goal, like the entire year?
1 hour a day of like focused, intense, not getting on Facebook and not drifting off on my cell phone, just in Brivity and following up, and it's actually quite helpful, because used to, when I would have leads that wanted to list in a few months, like I kept track of it in an Excel spreadsheet, and there was no task to tell me, hey, call this person on this day or this week. And it's been quite nice not having to go and figure that kind of stuff out.
Right on. Well, like I think there's like maybe like 3 levels to all of this. There's the level of agents that don't put anything in a sheet or in their Brivity. So they try to remember it all, and our memory is suspect after 24 hours, guys. Like we're not that good. Right. And if you think you're that good, it's probably just your ego talking, right? Then you got people that like just write notes everywhere, either in a sheet or on a notebook or in an email, right? Or in their their phone notes, right? But like you said, right, like that's good for like creating a business that's, pretty decent size, but you're never going to like have the business you want based on a Google sheet, right? And so Brivity, how much did you close last year, Dana?
Just under 10 million.
Okay. All right. So, 10 million. And now what do you want to do this year?
My goal is, like what I'm telling everybody, is my team to hit 100 transactions.
Boom.
And about half of those will be me and the other half will be the team.
Okay. I like it. Okay. So new year, new habits, right? For your new goal. Okay. I'm down with that. I love it. Thanks, Dana. Jen, I got you last because I liked your approach. It was different. It wasn't tactical in real estate. It was regarding our identity, recognizing our strengths and our weaknesses. Talk to us, like, end us all on that note. What are you?
So what I have found that I love the most about being a part of BKT are these masterminds. You hear what everyone is doing, how they're tackling expireds, open houses, what they're doing. And so what I found was like, oh, here are all these great ideas. Let's do it. But there was no rhyme or reason. There was no consistency to it. And then I was stuck doing the stuff, doing the things. I was going wide, but not deep. I found I was having a lot of anxiety around the lead generating part. And so I kind of had to dive deep a little bit, like what is that? And the mishap was the consistency, the implementation, the committing to the task and actually getting it done. I have the brain, a very creative brain, where I'm like, ooh, this will be a good idea. And this will be a good idea. And you start listing a whole sheet of what to do, how to grow, how to scale your business. And yet you never take the time to execute on it. So what is that and why? And so I found out, like, you kind of have to date yourself a little bit. You have to find out who you are, what makes you tick. Knowing who you are and your behavior and your behavioral patterns can kind of make or break you. And I wrote down, anyone willing to improve anything must be willing to assess it. And kind of finding the joy in everything. I'm a data geek. And so I had to figure out what was going to work for me, what was working. I closed 2 expireds, 3 open houses, 6 client referrals in Sphere, 2 for sale by owners, and 2 sign calls. And so kind of what my data told me was anything that I did, I was successful in. So I just need to pick my 3 or 4 legs and stick to it. Stop doing open houses hard for 1 month and getting so burnt out that you do none for 3 months, right? And why can't, and for me, it was open houses. They brought me so much stress. I was a single mom for the first time in 2020. So doing mom, running to the games, having to put out signs with a hungry kid in the car, taking him with me. Was I successful at it? Yes, but it brought me so much stress and anxiety. I didn't like who I was doing that. So I had to kind of make deals with myself. It's like, okay, well, we'll take open houses off the table, but what are you going to do to supplement that? And so you can have reasons or excuses, right? We can't have both. So if we're going to take open houses off the table, what are you willing to commit to for the hours that you would have spent dedicating to an open house? And I realized, how important time blocking is. And when I heard about this white space, I kind of laughed a little bit. I was like, what the hell is that all about? And white space gives me anxiety. Where's the anxiety coming from? It's because I have a crap ton of past dues in my Brivity. It's because my Brivity is this machine. And what's the point in me going out to lead generate for more business is if I'm not utilizing our auto campaigns, our drip campaigns, the task, all of it to dive deep with each person I do add to my database. What's the point? What is the point? So what's the point of being part of this team? This is a big value proposition. We have to utilize it. So I realized I had to tackle my anxiety. My anxiety being I needed to be better at Brivity. How do I use it? And how am I effective? How does that really affect my business? Y'all, in the last 2 weeks, my goal for this year is to close 30 units. I have filled out all 30 of my little houses with people already because of me putting them on the auto drip campaigns, being able to remind myself every single day. I'm logging into Brivity every single day. Guess what? This whole 2 hours of lead gen, I'm a new agent. I'm in my first year. You're a new business owner. 2 hours of anything, for lack of a better word, it ain't shit. It's not. If you want to call yourself successful, you have to dedicate more than 2 hours. You just have to. You have to eat. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I chose, if I'm not going to do open houses, then my ass is in Brivity. I'm tackling my past dues. Everyone is on a drip campaign. Everyone has a task set. Everyone has a market report. And if I have to get, some of the girls on the team to be like, hey, let's do, basic single mom shit and drink White Claws and go through Brivity and have our kids play with each other, let's do it. Brivity has allowed me to enjoy my white space in my calendar because I know that even though I may not be lead generating, the drip campaigns working on the back end are touching them for me. And that's the purpose. I wrote, especially coming into 2020, I wrote down, destiny will strip you away, reaching your destiny, walking in your purpose. It will strip you away from everything you thought would help you win. So what you thought or what brought you success, what brought you here won't keep you here. So know yourself, be strong enough to call your own self out on your own shit. We can set goals, real big goals. I want to read 12 books. What's the point of reading 12 books if you're not going to implement anything you read? I have read the first 3 chapters of like 6 books, and I did that on purpose. It's like if I read the first 3 chapters, I have to actually do what it tells me to do. Otherwise, what's the point in reading the rest? I'm going to get overwhelmed and think, oh, one day I'll get to it. One day I'll do it. No, today is the day. Do it in bite-sized pieces. If you have not done Win, Make, Give, you're doing yourself a disservice. Budgeting helps you purge. If you want to be a better reader, you'll get off the Netflix. I'm coming for your soul. I'm snatching you real quick. You'll get off the Netflix, right? You don't need it in your life anyway. Sometimes, ask your mom for her password, save your $17.99, get you an Audible. Again, you can have excuses, you can have reasons or results. You can't have both. Use your pockets. We're agents. We're in our car all the time. What are you listening to? What are you feeding off of? You are what you eat. Stop following nonsense people on social media. It's called your feed for a reason. Who are you following? What are you struggling with? If you struggle with depression or anxiety, who are you following that's creating those things in your life? This is about you. This is about your journey. This is your business. This is your legacy. Sometimes success comes with such a big price and you can't bring everyone along with you. So you have to learn who you are and to learn to love yourself enough to find yourself worthy enough to keep going. So Stop focusing on what you don't have and be grateful what you do have. And again, anyone willing to improve anything must be willing to assess it. You cannot fix what you're not willing to face.
I love that. The last part, you can't fix what you're not willing to face, right? That's so beautiful. I wanted to end on that note because all the tactics in the world are great as long as we have the mindset in the right place to implement them, right? I love that. One thing I heard this week was Rob Daniel. If you ever heard of Rob Daniel, he's a really cool person at Keller Williams. He ended a meeting I was on, and I thought it was so good. He said, push the throttle down and let the chaos begin. And I just love that. I love that sometimes we like just shy away from chaos because it's like, we want it to all be perfect. And the reality is, we're in a business where things aren't perfect. It's our job to make things align for people and facilitate things for people. And so we can either like just sit back and let everything that's happening in the world right now just kind of, it gets me down just as much as it gets anybody else down, right? But like whatever's happening anywhere else is not going to help or hurt what you're doing in your business. What you do today in your business is going to directly help or hurt your own business. So I love, Ben always says, cast the vote for yourself today. So go out and cast the vote for yourself, push that throttle down, let the chaos begin, because the team's here to help simplify all of that. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I'll send the recording out, and I hope that I see everybody next week. I've got a couple of speakers lined up for this month, which I think will be fun. And then next month, I've got a couple already. So there's a lot happening in the world, and we're going to act as if our goals are important to us. So we're going to just continue forth and protect our mindset as much as possible while being empathetic to what's happening around us. Does that make sense? Okay, love you guys. Have a good one. See you later.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Adelina. Thank you, everyone else.
Thank you. Bye.